All right, story number two. All right, going back to Canada again. Tory Lanez, Canadian rap star Tory Lanez, as we know, he is currently incarcerated after being found guilty of shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot. Now, I've covered this on the channel in a number of different videos. One of them is called Our Community Has a Problem. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put a link in here for that. But Tory Lanez has been in jail. Now, Tory Lanez started doing something I think is pretty cool since he's been sitting down. He's been releasing tracks over the summer called prison tapes. They've been called prison tapes. Okay. Now, there's a lot of angst and anger at Rock Nation these days, especially with the announcement that Kendrick Lamar is performing at the Super Bowl. And a lot of that frustration with Rock Nation comes from Nicki Minaj, who feels like Rock Nation is propping up Meg Thee Stallion to replace her. They've had friction in the past. And they feel like Rock Nation is the one that sent Tory Lanez to jail, okay? They give Rock Nation so much power. I'm not saying it's not powerful. I'm not saying Jay-Z doesn't have a lot of influence. It can pull a lot of levers. But Rock Nation is starting to get to its own level of boogeyman status, okay? So after Tory Lanez has been putting out the prison tapes, which have been received well, they've had a very positive reception. This week, TMZ Hip Hop reported, shout out to Trent Clark, prison tapes canceled after guards confiscate studio equipment. So here's what the article says. Tory Lanez's weekly reign of prison tapes has come to an end. The rapper's lawyers tell us prison guards raided his cell block and confiscated all studio equipment. The incarcerated hip-hop star is currently holed up at the California Correctional Institution, where he's serving time after being convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. But he's been passing the days by keeping his talent sharp. Bangers such as Basement and Appellate Court, all labeled under prison tapes umbrella, have been released in the past few weeks, benefiting his record sales. TMZ Hip Hop confirmed the news with Caesar McDowell, CEO of Unite the People and Chief Deputy of Tory's legal team. We're told prison officials informed Tory's team inmates are strictly forbidden from having recording devices for various reasons. The team is waiting to learn if Tory will face any further consequences, but it looks like fans will have to make do with the songs he was able to squeeze out until further notice. Now, supporters have been playing their part. Tory's single, The Color Violet, recently surpassed 1 billion streams, and rappers such as Drake are still calling for his freedom. They can now put in the same liberation calls for his seized recording equipment. All right, so people think that Rock Nation has something to do with that. Right. Now, very interesting update yesterday. And this is actually probably one of my favorite stories I've seen this month. You know, definitely away from this battle between Drake and Kendrick I'm just so enthralled with in general. But there's an update to the story. And Tory Lanez says that the powers that be shut down prison tapes because he was using royalties to reopen cases. Reopen cases. Now, this is an example of cultural altruism I just didn't expect from Tory Lanez, and I think this is amazing. Let's check the story. Tory Lanez is speaking out after his prison tapes recording equipment was snatched. He claims he was creating too much social change with his revenue streams. We broke the story. Tory Lanez's cell was raided yesterday, effectively ending his weekly releases. On Tuesday, Tory Lanez claimed he's witnessed tons of racial injustice since arriving at the California Correctional Institution and feels it's becomes his life's calling to help minorities seek proper representation. Tory's been releasing prison tape tracks all summer, technically enough for a full album, but he says it wasn't a problem until the higher-ups realized he had been using his money to reopen legal cases for nearly 500 inmates. 500 inmates. Here's the statement he posted. Now, Tory Lanez put this on Instagram, but this is actually really, I give Tory Lanez a lot of credit for this. I commend him for this. Here's what the statement says. The rumors are true. The prison tapes will be discontinued until further notice. However, I think it's important that my fans know the truth about the crooked-ass ish that's really going on here. My cell was not raided and trashed because I learned how to record myself in prison or because I created the prison tapes. I was shut down because the higher-ups figured out what I was really doing with the prison tapes and how many inmates were being helped in a life-changing way because of them. Since the first day I was incarcerated, all I've seen is blacks and other minorities receive the most cruel, illegal, and unfair punishment treatment. For so many nights, I asked God to reveal his purpose in making me go through the ills of the prison system. I was later shown that purpose. I was placed in jail to suffer, to feel, and to witness firsthand the pain and oppression being inflicted upon the young black and brown men and women of my generation. I knew I had to change this injustice. So I made a plan that when I got to prison, I would figure out a way to record music and put all the proceeds towards the legal representation of my fellow inmates, giving them a once-in-a-lifetime chance to go home to their families and appeal and resentencing. Although the higher-ups have stopped the prison tapes temporarily, they were too late to stop my overall plan. Since the month of July, I've offered legal representation for 472 inmates and actively reopened 476 cases. Since July. With the help of legal firm Unite the People, so many inmates will be returned to their families and loved ones. I'm naming this the Hands of God Project. The Hands of God Project. Lastly, they know I'm a threat and they don't want me saying or doing this, so if anything happens to me, just know I went out in the blaze of glory trying to revolutionize the end of a mass incarceration era on our people. Tory credits the United People legal firm he's been working with for steering the movement, a divine intervention he's dubbing the Hands of God Project. Tory also hinted if anything happens to him, the blame should be obvious to his fans. It was the man. That is dope. That is a great example of finding a rose in the concrete. You know, the silver lining. The even when the glass is empty, it's still half full. I don't know the metaphor or the illusion right now, but that's really impressive. That's really impressive. And you know, hopefully this is true. I'm going to keep watching this story as it moves forward. We'll see if I can get a comment from the Unite the People legal firm. I'm going to reach out to them today. But, you know, this is a great example of someone who has, as we talked about in the Marlon Wayans story we did last week, what do you do when your back's against the wall? Tory Lanez could be in there, holed up, mad at the world, and just count down his time to get out. And he found a way to help 470, almost 500 inmates in the process by doing the thing he's been blessed with, his God-given talent to make music that moves people. And I just think this is amazing. I'm really sad to see that his recording equipment was taken away, but it looks like his intentions are already in progress, and Tory Lanez should be commended for this. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. What do you think about Tory Lanez, this endeavor that Tory Lanez has put in process? And what do you think about just, you know, the incarceration rates in general? We got an election year coming up. These are all issues that affect all of us. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.